Today I'm going to be going over grade reduction and some of the things that go along with that in the school setting, and some policies that need to be set beforehand by the school to ensure that each student is treated the same and fair, that will be held up within the court system. Grade reduction for absences. School officials can use grade reduction to limit absenteeism, but it must follow the guidelines and the statutes that are set by the state, and that's according to Essex 2011. Courts will support the policies that are set forth by the school if the processes are followed within those policies. If it's not followed directly, then the courts are more than likely to rule in favor of students if the case does have to go to a jury trial or even to a court higher than that. If schools do follow the exact policy, then more than likely schools will be okay. Within each school district, administrators should provide the staff with proper training and information about how the policies should be followed within that district, and also exactly what those policies are, and how to follow each policy individually. Grade reduction for unexcused absences. Schools are allowed to penalize students with grade reduction for unexcused absences and truancy, as long as they stay within normal guidelines. Obviously, they can't go to extreme measures to punish a student. Courts are more likely to support this than grade reduction for misconduct. They like to see everything followed on an even keel. Schools should make sure that rules of truancy that they follow are clearly defined and accurate with state policy. It's very important that the rules that the school set forth are also the same as what the state has. If there's any difference there and the case has to go to courts, the courts are not going to like schools doing something other than what the state tells them to do. Continued here with grade reduction for unexcused absences. In some rare cases, students could receive a failing grade for missing one class. And this again would be an extreme situation, and courts will not rule to support this process. That's unfair to the students, and it puts them in a situation where they basically cannot achieve success. They're going to fail no matter what they do. Administrators and teachers should work together to make sure that they are following the same policy to limit confusion. It's very important that each teacher do the same thing on each policy, rather than have one teacher doing one thing and one teacher do another. It's very important for administrators to make that very clear to their teachers that everybody has to be doing the same thing. It's up to each teacher to make sure that they know the policy and that they follow it. Some grade reduction for academic misconduct. Courts will usually uphold educator decisions on grade reduction except in extreme situations. So long as the policies are followed within each district, as goes along with the state policy, according to Brookhart, then the courts will support what the educators decide. Schools should have policies in place for this process. If they do not, they should consult legal counsel and make policies for their district. It's very important that at the district level, each school have those policies in place. Due process must be used when grade reduction is used as a way to enforce punishment on a student. It's very important that the proper chain of command is followed, as well as the proper policies are followed. If there's any misrepresentation there or something changes, then the courts will not uphold those decisions made by the educators and will more than likely rule with the side of the student. The references that I used were Essex 2011, A Teacher's Pocket Guide to School Law, Brookhart, an article that I found on www.education.com, and it was titled Legal Counsel, and then an article by Leggett, Discipline by Grade Reduction and Grade Denial Based on Attendance, and I found that at www.eric.ed.gov.